Okay guys, now we've got section 3. In section 3 usually we have multiple choice questions. Along with multiple choice we have matching type of questions, and sometimes we have this flow chart completion. At times there is a flow chart with one word only where they don't give any words, but this flow chart is with a list of words. So that means in the audio you will find synonym, then you will match a word here and there you will find the answer. So this is more complicated. If it is without this list and you have to select a word from the audio and write it down, that is easier. But if it is a list of words, that is more complicated. But I will tell you how to deal with that. Complete the flow chart below, choose 6 answers from the box and write the correct letter. Now over here you have to read the options A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H as well as the questions as well, and they will give you around half minute for that. Questions 21 to 26. Okay, stages in doing a tourism case study. Question number 21 is about a research, that is locate and read relevant articles, noting key information and also dash, and then identify a problem or need. Now listen, first let's go to these words. A is patrons, right? So in the audio actually for patrons they can use the word trends. Patrons and trends are synonyms. Trends, patrons, regulations, like that. After that we have option B. Option B is actually names, and for names they can use the word name or they can use the word anonymous, like whether they want us to identify them by names or they want to remain anonymous. Anonymous means name unknown, right? You know, there are some books, quotations, anonymous means name is not known. Then we have option C, sources. Very simple. For sources they can use the word where you got them from, where you got them from, or where they came from, right? Where they came from means source. Okay. Then we have option D, questions. For questions they can use inquiries or any other word like that. Then option E, employees. For employees they can use the word staff or they can use the word people who work. Employees, staff, people who work, like that. Then option F, solutions. For solutions they might use the word resolution, solution, or any other word like that. Then option G, headings. For headings they might use any other word, outline or any other word like that. And then option H, officials. So they might use any other word. For officials they can use the word like minister, he's from the official government, officials, ministers and other people like that. So they may use any word for officials as well, like administrators and all that. Now let's focus the question. Your right hand that is holding the pencil should be on question, and the left hand, this finger is going to move between the options. The question is locate and read relevant articles, that's number 1. Noting key information, that's number 2, and also dash. Now after key information, and by the way, what is the topic? Stages in doing a tourism case study. Now they are doing a case study in tourism, so these are the stages in that case study. Case study is when you select a company or individual and you see how that person flourished and all that. So let's start. Question number 21.
You will hear 2 tourism students called Natalie and Dave talking about the tourism case study they are doing.
Dave, I'm worried about our case study. I've done a bit of reading, but I'm not sure what's involved in actually writing a case study. I missed the lecture where Dr. Baker talked us through it.
Okay, well, it's quite straightforward. We've got our focus. That's tourism at the Horton Castle site. And you said you'd done some reading about it?
Yes, I found some articles and made notes of the main points.
Did you remember to keep a record of where you got the information from?
Sure. I know what a pain it is when you forget that.
Okay, so we can compare what we've read. Then we have to decide on a particular problem or need at our site.
Yeah. C, source. Why source? Because in the audio they said where you got information from or where you got this information from. So source means actually where you got this information. Question number 21, C is the right answer. I'll play it again.
You will hear two tourism students called Natalie and Dave talking about the tourism case study they are doing.
Dave, I'm worried about our case study. I've done a bit of reading, but I'm not sure what's involved in actually writing a case study. I missed the lecture where Dr. Baker talked us through it.
Okay, well, it's quite straightforward. We've got our focus. That's tourism at the Horton Castle site. And you said you'd done some reading about it?
Yes, I found some articles and made notes of the main points.
Did you remember to keep a record of where you got the information from?
Did you remember to keep a record of where you got the information from? So, and also where you got the information from is source. C is the answer. No, you will not write the word. You will just write the letter. Don't write the word. Only write C. Okay? Whenever they label the words or statements, you will never write those words or statements. Only C is the right answer. Okay, question number 22. Select interviews. These may be site dash. Now these may be site dash. Something related to site, and then there is a comma. And then they say visitors or city dash. Now let's focus. These may be site dash. Select interviewees, and these may be. These means interviewees. Interviewees, one is interview taker, one is interviewee, like whose interview they conduct. So these may be site dash. Let's see who these interviewees are. Now basically answer is going to be who interviewees are and whatever they say, and then you will find a word from there.
And then think about who we're going to interview to get more information.
Okay, so who'd that be? The people who work there? And presumably some of the tourists too?
Yes, both those groups. So,
People who work there and some of the tourists. Exactly. For tourists they use the word visitors, and people who work there, that is employees. So what will be the answer? E is the answer. Employees is not the answer. Answer is E. Okay?
we'll have to go to the site to do that, I suppose.
Then they said we'll have to go to the site to do that. Okay, question number 23. Visitors or city dash, something related to that.
And then think about who we're going to interview to get more information.
Okay.
But we might also do some of our interviewing away from the site. We could even contact some people here in the city, like administrators involved in overseeing tourism.
Okay, so we'll need to
Exactly.
think about our interview.
Administrators, H officials, right? So it's purely, and you can do one thing. If it is difficult to go back and see what the answer is, over here you write administrators, and then at the end when they give you half minute, then you can just match and write the letter. You can do that as well, because it's difficult to go A, B, C, D and all that. So you can just do it like that as well. Okay, question number 24. Prepare and carry out interviews if possible. Collect statistics. Then question number 24. Check whether dash of interviewees can be used. Interviewees and dash of interviewees can be used. Yeah, maybe. Exactly.
And if we can, we should ask our interviewees if they can bring along some numerical data that we can add to support our findings.
And photographs?
I think we have plenty of those already. But Dr. Baker also said we have to establish with our interviewees whether we can identify them in our case study or whether they want to be anonymous.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Whether we can identify them or they want to be anonymous. So identify by Names actually, right? So the answer for question number 24 is B. Identify means names. Okay, now you can learn it from Ielts. Identify means names, right? Okay, question number 25, analysis. Select relevant information and try to identify something. What is it? Let's see.
Okay, once we've got all this information, I suppose we have to analyse it.
Yes. Put it all together and choose what's relevant to the problem we're focusing on, and analyse that carefully to find out if we can identify any trends or regularities there.
Identify trends or regularities. So yes, very good. It's going to be A, patterns. And by the way, if you write trends or regularities and later on in half minute you match it, that will do as well, right? Even you can do that at the end. They give you 10 minutes to transfer the answers. You can do it at that time also, right? So whichever is easier way, you can just do it like that. And it's not necessary you write only one word. You can write 3-4 words and then you can match them later. Alright, question number 26, writing the case study. Do not end with dash. Do not. Now listen, yes, another trick they actually do with you. People say trick is not a good word, but Ielts people, they do tricks with you. Do not end with dash. We are talking about a case study, right? So in the end, they are going to say that in other document we can do it, but in case study we don't need to do it. So what we can do in other document and we cannot do it in case study, that will be the answer. Do you understand? For example, one is case study, one is presentation. They can say, unlike a presentation where we can give opinion, in case study we can't do it. So opinion is the answer. You understand? Let's go on. Question number 26.
Then, the case study itself is mostly quite standard. We begin by presenting the problem and giving some background, then go through the main sections. But the thing that surprised me is that in a normal report, we'd end with some suggestions to deal with the problem or need we identified. But in a case study, we end up with a question or a series of questions to our readers, and they decide what ought to be done.
Oh, I hadn't realised that.
So, question, series of questions is not the answer. What we can do at the end of other document, what was that? Solution, yeah, exactly, answer is that, but actually they used another document. No, listen again, this was another document mentioned.
Then, the case study itself is mostly quite standard. We begin by presenting the problem and giving some background, then go through the main sections. But the thing that surprised me is that in a normal report...
In a normal report, so report and then case study. In a normal report,
we'd end with some suggestions to deal with the problem.
Suggestions to deal with the problem. What does that mean? Solution. Suggestions to deal with the problem. But here he says do not do that. So for suggestions to deal with the problem, we have option F, solutions. That will be the right answer. Okay, that's good.